Okay, guys, let's go. Welcome to Mirror Domain's Movie News for February 21st, 2022. It's the Monday, guys, so it's time for the box office report. Let's take a look online to see what these numbers are for the weekend of February 18th to the 20th. Now, guys, in Canada, it was just a normal weekend. And these are the numbers, yeah. Uncharted number 1, Dog was number 2. But it's a long weekend in the United States. So they call it President's Day weekend. And it's a 3-day or 4-day weekend, I don't know. But we'll use these numbers for the box office report this weekend. And here are the top 5. Number 1, Uncharted. Number 2, Dog. Number 3, Spider-Man No Way Home. Number 4, Death on the Nile. And number 5 was Jackass Forever. And all the way down at number 10 was The Cursed, werewolf movie. We'll talk about that in just a few moments. But Uncharted came in with $51 million for the long weekend. Dog, that Channing Tatum movie, about a service dog or an army dog or something, $18 million. That's pretty good. But Tom Holland back on top with Uncharted, and he's in the number 3 spot with Spider-Man, $8.8 million. That's not that bad either. Death on the Nile falling to $7.1 million in the 4th spot. We'll talk about that because it did have its Chinese release, and it didn't go as well as they were hoping. Jackass Forever rounds out the top 5 with $6.2 million. That's cool. Yeah, they cracked $50 million, and that's good for them. But let's take a look at the Uncharted numbers just a little bit closer here, because I finally went out and saw it yesterday, and my review will be up on the channel later today. I liked it, but I can totally see the criticisms that it's not, you know, it's not Nathan Drake. But let's take a look at the domestic numbers. 51 million. Internationally, 88 million. So worldwide, it's 139 million for this long weekend. And that's not bad, right? That's not terrible. But let's compare it to what the budget is. The budget was slated for around 120 million. So looking at the worldwide gross, it's already made back its budget. But on top of that, they have marketing expenses. They've got, studio and the theaters take their percentages from it. So it's still got to make maybe another 40 million, 60 million to break even. But it's going to do that. It's going to break even for sure, because the only other big thing that comes out this weekend is going to be that Foo Fighters movie. And it's going to be number 1 again next weekend, I think, for sure. But Tom Holland, back as Uncharted. You know what? I was worried about it because the tomato meter was low going into the weekend. A lot of the reviewers, the critics, hated this film, 39%. But the audience is liking it, 90%. As the running time is pretty long, though. It's like just under 2 hours, an hour and 56 minutes. And if they shaved off about another 20 minutes of that and made it a little bit tighter, I think it would have been even better. But as the main criticisms that Tom Holland's not really the Nathan Drake, he doesn't really embody that character, and neither does Mark Wahlberg as Sully, to tell you the truth. But as just a treasure hunting movie, it's so over the top, it's audacious, it's fun, it's like that little bit of that romp of National Treasure, same on that vibe. Red Notice, that was on Netflix recently with Ryan Reynolds and The Rock. It's kind of like that flavor. It's that vibe. And it looks like it's resonating with the fans. So it's definitely going to be back on top next weekend because there's not many big releases coming out. And I'm just using the tomato meter to kind of gauge as to where it's going to land, because it's only got this weekend and the next weekend, and then 2 weeks from now, the Batman opens up. So that's going to be number 1, crushing this one, because the Batman's going to make that 139, if not more, opening weekend alone. And it's getting a Chinese release, so that's good. But Uncharted, it's faring okay. It's not a complete disaster as some people were forecasting, and that's good. That's really good. Now, let's talk a bit more about some other box office things here. As I mentioned earlier, Death on the Nile did have its Chinese release. It didn't fare all that well, guys. Domestically, it's only made $25.9 million. Internationally, $49.9 million. million. So 75.8 worldwide on a budget of wasn't it close to 95 million for Death on the Nile? So it's going to lose money, and they knew that. This movie was supposed to come out like a year and a half ago, guys, or something like that. It just got pushed around, and then all of this stuff with Armie Hammer came out, which didn't do it any favors. But Kenneth Branagh as Hercule Poirot in this movie, it's worth the look if you want that fun ride of just murder mystery. And I enjoyed it, and it definitely deserved a better fare at the box office than 75.8 million, because it's going to drop off significantly once Batman comes out. And yeah. Now, what was this dog movie? Oh yeah, 2 former Army Rangers are paired against their will on the road trip of a lifetime. Briggs, Channing Tatum, and Lulu race down the Pacific coast to a fellow soldier's funeral on time. Okay. And it only came out domestically, so 18 million. It'll get an international release, but we'll have to see how that fares. That's good for that haul. That's really good. Again, guys, I can't go out and see every movie here. I'm self-financed, so I don't have the luxury of a press pass or anything yet. All right. Something else that came out that I really wanted to see, The Cursed. It's like a werewolf movie, and it kind of like in that vein of The Witch and that period piece of, is it there or isn't it there? It's there, but it's really, really gory. Really, really gory. 1.9 million is not, for a limited release, it's not in that many theaters, 1,600 theaters, almost 1,700 theaters there. And it just didn't have that word of mouth buzz. At least Chris Stuckman came out and did a review for it. So that's good, because it'll generate a little bit of buzz off of that. But guys, that's pretty much the way that the weekend box office numbers have come in. Let me know what you thought about some of these numbers in the comments below. And it's not a critical analysis here. Guys, if you want to go and check out the nuance and the breakdown of all of this and what it means, go check Dan Murrell's channel out, because he does a great breakdown and showing you all of the little ins and outs of the box office. I think it's what got called Charting with Dan or something like that. He's really good. He's really good, and he would be my go-to man for box office numbers. I just wanted to take a look at it as just an overview to keep my eye on what's going on. But guys, you're watching Mirror Domains Movie News, your place for entertainment headlines. If you don't know how this show works, guys, it's a live show, 12 p.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern, Monday to Friday. And we go over a number of topics. If you're live with us, one of the perks is that I don't put on the ads. So you get it ad-free when you watch it live. And we talk about a number of topics here on this show. We just did the box office. Uncharted Villains. There was an article out about that and some post-credit scenes. Uncharted had some post-credit scenes, so take a look for that. Take a look for those. Brie Larson has a Marvel's shoot set photo that we'll look at. It's not much. Thor, the villain, Gore, has been revealed in a Lego set. And we get our first image of Daniel Radcliffe as Weird Al Yankovic. Yeah, I was kind of like, they don't even look alike, but we'll take a look at that image. There's a rumor out there that Wolverine is in Doctor Strange 2, but it won't be the one that we recognize like Hugh Jackman. It's going to be somebody new, perhaps. Another thing that's speculation is Venom in the MCU. What are they going to do? The writers of that series have come out and said something about that. And the Halo series, Master Chief has been rumored. Are we going to see him with his helmet off? Are we or are we not? Well, it turns out that, we'll talk about that when that story comes up. And we'll round out with some various headlines. If we got time, we'll do the Twitter roundup. That's pretty much how the show goes, guys. And if you are watching us afterwards, guys, remember, 12 p.m. Eastern, Monday to Friday, join us in the live chat, because I will interact with you in the live comments. And if you're watching us after, all of these topics will be listed in the comment section and description with time codes for you to navigate your way through. Let's go back and talk about that Uncharted movie, because Uncharted star Tati Gabrielle on powerful female villains. The joyful Antonio Banderas and that Sully backstory. Now, yeah, the if you've seen the movie, this is not spoilers, guys, because you see it in the trailers that she's one of the side villains, one of the people hunting for Sully and Drake. And there's a big article here on Hollywood Reporter talking about powerful female villains. She is strong and she does kick butt, so I'll give her that. But as a strong character, she was not. She was just the look, and she did do a lot of the training. She did do a lot of the stunt work that does pay off, and I did like her look. But as a strong villain, she's not a memorable villain. She's not somebody that would make me go, "Hey, you got to check out what this person was doing with this villain character." You know, it wasn't that. And if people are saying there's a weakness in the film, it's definitely the villains, because they're very, they're the bad guys because they dress like bad guys kind of thing. You know, very shallow, very cardboard. But I wanted to talk about it because I wanted to try to give it a little bit of its fair due. Here you can see her in action. She did dive into it like that, but the villains, it's one of the weaknesses of the film for sure. And I'll talk about that later today when I post my my Uncharted review. That'll be up on the channel later today. I'll talk about that. And we'll address a little bit about the villains. Antonio Banderas is supposed to be the main bad guy. Yeah, we'll talk about that for sure. It's one of the shortcomings of the films, I believed. But there are some post-credit scenes. So guys, if you haven't seen it yet, go out to see the post-credit scenes. I'm not going to, it doesn't show it here in this article, so don't worry, you're not going to get spoiled for anything. But if you're a fan of the games, it does spoil something for the games. And I felt like, again, this movie was trying to put its universe before the first movie, right? It was trying to establish a series and franchise without giving us a really solid first good film. And I liked Uncharted. I did like Uncharted, but it's not something that's going to end up on my top 5 of the year. It's not going to be maybe not even in the best top 10. It was just a nice romp of a treasure hunting film, and I liked it because Tom Holland there was giving his all. Yeah, that's what I would say. But there's a big reveal in the post-credit scene. It doesn't show us here, guys, in this little article. So don't worry about it. I'm not going to reveal it too much. I just wanted to say that there is a post-credit scene for Uncharted. Couple, actually. So wait around and check those out and let me know what you thought about them in the comments below. And we'll talk about it. The Marvels. Guys, are you looking forward to... It's Captain Marvel 2, and it's called The Marvels with Brie Larson. Comes out next year in 2023, and Brie Larson has shared a set photo. And guys, this is just one of those headlines where it's not really that much of a story. It's not. It really isn't. But people are going to be talking about it, and we got to keep our eye on the movie news because we're movie news fans. So what is this set photo? What can it possibly reveal? Oh, see you in a year, Carol. This is a picture of her chair. And people are running with this. I mean, come on. It's clickbait. This is the kind of BS that makes people hate, searching for their news on themselves. And here I am talking about it. So let's not give it any more time. Let's just move on. Now, this is a little bit more fun. Thor 4 villain. You know that Christian Bale is going to be playing Gore in the Thor Love and Thunder. And I guess we see the design revealed by Lego. Guys, it's a Lego thing. It's not going to be that much. Here's some, comic book art in the background there, and it shows the actual character, who's going to be in prosthetics of some kind. It's going to be made up. It's not going to look like Christian Bale. Well, maybe the face part will, and the voice for sure, but the Lego stuff is going... Come on, it's Lego heads and stuff. And there he is clashing with Thor in his white garb. He's got gray skin. I'll blow it up here in a moment, but we'll just take a look at the box. People are going to be talking about this too, and it's kind of like, it really doesn't show much. It doesn't show as much as those action figures last week that showed Lady Thor in her armor. those were cool images. But yeah, there it is. It's a Viking boat, and we can see all the characters there. There he is, Gore himself. Let me blow that up for a second. All right, there he is, right there. Come on, that doesn't show us anything, guys. It's one of those things where it's kind of like, well, should we even be talking about it? I mean, I'm not going to ramble on about it. There's not much more to say about that. You can't tell too much right now, but we will. We will eventually when a trailer drops, and Thor 4 is one of my anticipated films of the year. So Thor Love and Thunder, when we get an actual image of what Christian Bale is going to look like for sure, with his makeup on and everything, I'll be the first to report it here, guys, on this channel. It'll be up on that daily for sure, if not in a short video as well. All right. Okay. Let's continue on with some more news about Daniel Radcliffe playing Weird Al Yankovic. Yes, he is. Guys, Daniel Radcliffe, this comes to us from E! News, is going to be playing Weird Al in a biopic. And I saw a story that also said that Weird Al spoiled the end of the movie. And all he did was post to his Twitter that the last page of the script that says, fade to black. And he says, yes, I just spoiled the end of the movie. That's what happens. He's just trying to be funny. He's weird. It's Weird Al. And I like Weird Al. He's great. He's a fantastic musician. But I never thought I would see Daniel Radcliffe playing him. I mean, Weird Al's tall and lanky. Radcliffe is sort of not, but here are the first images of him with the wig on, the hair, the mustache, and I'll blow it up here in a moment and we'll take a look at it a little bit closer. There are a couple of pictures here. What do you guys think about this? Is this something like he sort of does? They've blackened around his eyes there. And it's going to be the voice, I think, that'll, when he starts screaming and elevating his voice to that higher register. It is what it is, guys. What do you think about some of these photos? Okay, so there maybe he looks a little bit like a younger version of him. Is that Tash glued on? that almost looks like it's just glued on. Is that? No, that can't be what they're going for. Oh. All right, let's take a look at it a little bit blown up here. There we go. This is the main one that everybody will be running with. What's he got in his teeth there? A silver tooth or something? Or has he got like a cigarette? Or somebody altered that image, it almost looks like. But Daniel Radcliffe as Weird Al. What do you guys think about that? Does it work for you? Let me know in the comments below and we'll talk about it. All right, guys. Let's go over to the rumor mill here. Something that everybody will be talking about too. There's a quote out from Doctor Strange 2 that it's rumored that a new Wolverine that is not Hugh Jackman will appear. Well, they're going into the multiverse, so it's possible. It's definitely possible. But there's a quote in here from one of the people that has been working on the film, Illuminati Nerdies. Okay, so not somebody who's working on the film, somebody who just supposedly has insider information. Who says that he's seen a new version of the Wolverine in the movie. Now, I don't know who it would be, who's cast as it, but let's see this quote or this tweet that says, we will see Wolverine and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, but definitely won't be Hugh Jackman. And of course, this will spark all the fandom out there. Well, where is he going to be? Is he going to be in this Illuminati scene where we see Professor X, Patrick Stewart, when we also see possibly John Krasinski's Reed Richards? Will we see a Wolverine here somewhere? They're in the multiverse, so it wouldn't surprise me whatsoever that we see a version of Wolverine. It won't be the Wolverine that we'll see in the MCU once they bring in the X-Men, but it'll be a version of him, just like the way that it won't be the Reed Richards like that we'll see in the MCU once they bring the Fantastic Four in. It'll just be this version in that multiverse, because they can do that with this storyline. They just have to do it carefully so that people don't get confused and be like, that can't be Wolverine, because it has the Wolverine casting, the recasting will be something of controversy for a lot of people, because Hugh Jackman was obviously owned that role. He did the best with it. We are going to get eventually a new Wolverine, so maybe that'll be a nice way to slowly bring us into that feeling that, okay, guys, we're going to get new X-Men. We're going to get new characters, new people playing these characters. Here's a nice soft way to ease us in. Here's what he could have potentially looked like. And then they'll give us the real one once they bring in the X-Men. It's a rumor. And it's going to be the talk of the town for today. Everybody's going to be talking about, well, who could it be? And what's your fan casting? I don't really have one right now, depending on how young they want to go with it. Because it's just one of those things. I think they should just try to find an unknown. That's the way I would go for a new Wolverine. But that's the way that people will be talking about it. Let's move on to some more speculative news with Spider-Man No Way Home writers. Discuss Venom's future in the MCU. And so the writers who made No Way Home are going to talk about that post-credit scene of Tom Hardy in the end of the movie. Guys, if you've seen it by now, you know what happens. Tom Hardy's looking at Spider-Man, or talking about Spider-Man in this bar. A piece of the symbiote gets left behind in his universe as Tom Hardy gives back to his own, which we all thought that Tom Hardy would be facing off against Tom Holland's Spider-Man, but apparently that's not what they're going to do, which kind of bums me out. Because I thought when they brought him over, you brought him over, so you might as well use him there. Why not? It's just Although it does open the door for us to get another version of Carnage that hopefully will be better than the one that they did last year. Yeah. But they got a quote here from the writers of Spider-Man No Way Home. Let's see what they're talking about here. About leaving that little piece of the symbiote that Brock leaves behind. It leaves the door open for possibilities, as opposed to just seeing him go back and not seeing any symbiote. So it just allows for some exciting possibilities in the future. That's all the quote is. Okay, and let's see what else. Is there anything else here? I have no idea. That is above our pay grade if we're going to see him. We are part of a bigger, larger universe that we are not gods of. We're just mortals in. I think it was a fun idea that sixth member of the Sinister Six gets stuck in a bar. It doesn't get out there, but maybe he leaves a little something behind. Yeah. We know how that goes. Yeah. Again, we're not masters of our own, of that course of the next adventure. Yeah, we all saw it. But we do want to see Venom take on Spider-Man. And hey, guys, you know what? If they're not going to... the symbiote is going to somehow get over to the Tom Holland Spider-Man eventually, because that's what the writers are suggesting, that little piece that was left behind. But it won't be Tom Holland's Venom, the one that we're seeing currently in the Venom franchise. Which bums me out. That's where the signs are pointing, and that bums me out quite a bit, guys. What do you guys think about that? Does that bum you out too, that we're not going to see Tom Hardy's Venom? It looks like we're not going to see Tom Hardy face off against Tom Holland. That's a real bummer. All right, and this may bum people out too. The Halo series, Master Chief will remove his helmet in the series, according to the showmaster, or one of the creators of it here, said in one of his quotes, Kirky Wolfkill, executive producer, said that I think we set out to tell a character story and a personal story. And once we really got into what the story was, it became clear that you really needed to see the person in the armor and under the helmet. So it's we're going to see his face. So some people will be bummed out about that, because there are the hardcore believers out there that we shouldn't see his face. For some people, it's been a moment 20 years in the making, and for other people, it's something that feels very hard to imagine. We absolutely respect both sides of that fence. Those who really want to see Chief's face and those who really don't. But for the nature of his story, I felt really important to connect with Master Chief in a different way, and that meant showing his face. So we are going to see his face in the Halo series, which I love the trailer, by the way. If you want to see my trailer reaction for it, look on the channel, and I'll leave a link for that up in the cards later on today. Halo, because it looked phenomenal. It blew me away with how well done it looked. But Master Chief is going to be showing his face in the Halo series. Yes? No? Maybe so? Yeah. All right. Let's move on to some various headlines here. And we'll go through these rather quick. Francis Ford Coppola will finance his next film, Megalopolis, with his own $120 million. Now, we talked about this. This broke actually a couple months ago, but it's resurfaced because they're getting ready to shoot by the end of this year. It looks like they want to get this thing going. And I don't know what it's about, but it's like a story that has been a passion project of his for a long time. And the fact that he's going to dump $120 million of his own money into this just makes me go, yes, that's awesome. Hey, if you got that kind of money and you want to make a movie, but the studios just won't give you it, then yes, go ahead. Coppola plans to film the movie late 2022 and estimates it'll take 3 years to make. Wow. Hopefully it will be worth the wait. It's described as an ambitious love story akin to a Roman epic, but set in a timeless New York City. The film centers on an architect's dream of building a utopia after a disaster ravages the city. So, it's very futuristic, it sounds like. It's got like that... I'm getting like steampunk vibes, and maybe it's just this picture here. But you know what? That's exactly what George Lucas did with the prequels. And say what you will about those films, I still like the prequels a lot. When you make your movie the way you want to make it, I don't fault you for that. $120 million of your own money. You're not getting any younger there, Francis. So I champion that. I think that's awesome. That's great news. Lacey Chabert signs multi-picture deal with Crown Media Family Networks. She does a lot of this stuff, and I'm really happy for her. She was in Mean Girls. I just wanted to bring this up quickly because she's got that niche down, that Hallmark, sort of rom-coms, I guess, that are family-oriented, and that's cool. That's really good for her. Good for her. And I really hope that someday she is able to bust out and make a big splash on the bigger screen as well, because these movies tend to be simply for TV, and then they never materialize into anything more than just that. The White Lotus star Alexandra Daddario has Colorado man arrested outside her Hollywood home, and I just wanted to make a little public service announcement about this sort of kind of thing, guys, about your fandom. And I am a fan of Alexandra Daddario. I follow her YouTube page actually, and her social medias, because she does these vlogs and stuff, and she's just fun. She just of her and her friends fooling around, vlog style, and this twit is. Like when you get to that fandom, I guess you do get stalkers, but this guy, thank God they arrested him. I'm not going to even give you his name there, but this is when you realize when your fandom gets out of control. Guys, if you feel like doing anything like this, then seek help, because I'm glad she's okay. It bothers me that this kind of crap happens, and it bums me out too. All right, guys. Street Fighter 6 announced alongside Capcom Fighting Collection. That's cool. Are you a Street Fighter fan? I totally am. Ever since 2, the animated movie I loved, Street Fighter 2 V, the series. Guys, if you haven't checked that out, go check that out. There's like a playlist on YouTube where you can watch the entire series of Street Fighter 2, and it's just like Ken and Ryu going around the world learning their powers. It's just really cool, fighting off against the regular foes. And this teaser just shows one character facing off against looks like Ryu with a beard, very bulky. Ryu. It's not much, guys. But I guess Street Fighter 6 is going to be on the way, and I'll keep my eye out for that. I always liked those games. I would play with Street Fighter 2 with my buddies all the time, and for hours on end, even though I'd get my butt kicked all the time. I just wanted to go back for more, and that's how much fun it was. I always played Ken. Who did you play in Street Fighter? Let me know in the comments below. Some other various headlines. Robert Downey Jr. and Shane Black to reunite for a new Parker movie at Amazon. Is this the same Parker that Jason Statham was part of? I don't know. Let's just take a look at this article. Now, Shane Black also did Kiss Kiss Bang Bang and Iron Man 3 with Robert Downey Jr. That's where that came from. So, does it say anything about when this will come out? Let's just take a look. Joel Silver. Oof. As the new film is still waiting an official announcement from Amazon, so will it be on Amazon? It won't be a theatrical release. Downey Jr. will play professional criminal Parker in the 7th film based on Stark's novels. Stark. Okay, so there's the list. And 2013's Parker with Jason Statham. So it was the same character that Statham played. That's what I'm getting from this article. This isn't the only thriller Downey Jr. is starring in. Soon he'll be appearing in a TV adaptation of The Sympathizer on HBO. Okay. But he's got to try other things. I don't know why he doesn't need to. He's got the money to do anything that he wants. Okay, we'll see him on the screen. I was kind of hoping for him to round out his Sherlock series. But if this is the way that he wants to go, I guess he did work well with Shane Black. Although Iron Man 3 was kind of like meh. One of Shane Black's... No, The Predator was Shane Black's weakest film. Oh, God, that was awful. And The Nice Guys was probably one of his better films. Go watch that film. That was a great film with Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling. That's his fare. That's like Shane Black at his peak, his peak powers. Yeah. That's what I feel. Okay. Is there anything else out there that we need to talk about? Because we're rounding them, 30 minutes already. That's the way that I usually like to round things out. But let's just take quickly at the Twitter roundup. What's this? Euphoria season finale. Who would you like to see as Fade Rotha in Princess Irulian in Dune Part 2? Yeah, we never saw Princess in the Dune, because they cut out a lot of stuff. We knew that. But Fade was played by Sting in the original movie. Who would I like to see? Well, it's being touted, and we saw makeup art of it of Barry Keoghan, I think it's pronounced. He's buffing up for something. He's going to be also rumored to be in the Batman as the Joker. Or at least the prequel to be, he's going to eventually turn into the Joker. Because apparently there's a scene in the Batman where you hear him talk through the grating and when they're in Arkham. Because the Riddler in the trailers we see gets taken to Arkham and we hear him talking through the grates. That's all we're going to hear. Apparently it's Barry Keoghan playing that role. But guys, he's a great actor. And if you haven't seen Killing of a Sacred Deer, check that out, because that really showcases his ability, his menace. And he was in The Green Knight last year too, and he was pretty good in that. He's just a really good actor. That's who people think that'll play Fade in the Dune 2. My pick would be maybe Will Poulter as Fade. That would be cool too. Of course, he's playing Adam Warlock in the MCU. So those are my two picks who I would like to see. As far as the princess goes, yeah, I don't know. See on the side here, Thor Love and Thunder, it's trending. Just for that little Lego thing, it's trending, guys. So that's why we had to talk about it. Uncharted 50 million 4-day opening. So it was 4 days you guys got in the States. And Deadline has called Tom Holland an actual star who could put people in seats. Was it the case for his other films, though? That's up for debate. Yeah, the film cost 100. We went over this stuff earlier today. Tatum, that dog movie. I'll eventually watch that when it comes out on streaming of some kind. Peaky Blinders returns in 1 week. Cool, man. According to Deadline, Cinderella is currently leading the Oscars fan favorite poll. Really? So it's beaten Spider-Man No Way Home? Huh. Wow, I'll have to take a look at that article. Huh. Oh, yes. Zoe Kravitz's directorial debut. Pussy Island is starring Channing Tatum will be filming this summer. It will follow a cocktail waitress on a tech mogul's private island who soon finds out there's more to the island than meets the eye. Apparently, yeah, that's what the story's about. It's about this tech mogul that brings all these party goers and stuff to the island, and like the pretty girls that just sit on the boats and take pictures of themselves on Instagram. Those kinds of girls. That's the one I get. And she's one of them. Or there's going to be a cocktail waitress that gets hooked into that, and then they get experimented on, or something weird happens. And Tatum's going to be playing this weird exotic role. And I'm really excited for that. For that to come out, and it's going to be Zoe Kravitz directing that. Oh, what a talent. What a talent. She's great in front of the camera, and now she's going to try to prove her worth behind the camera. Fantastic. Zoe Kravitz, cool. Oh, yeah, there were some more new Northman images that came out. That's right. Alexander Skarsgård, the Northman. This is definitely on my must-see list of the year for sure. Along with Elvis, that just came out recently too. But guys, this looks phenomenal. Talking about the guy, the Witch earlier. This is coming from the guy who made the Witch, right? It's got Ethan Hawke in it, and the armor. It just looks awesome. These new images are stellar, absolutely stellar. Now there's Ethan Hawke. I like the armor. It's just. The color palette is supposed to be drained. It's supposed to be like that. It's just, yeah, the Northman. That looks like it's going to be just a spectacular watch. It's got Anya Taylor-Joy in it as well. Oh, there's Weird Al Yankovic story again. I'm going to have to wait to see what that looks like. Nolan North. He was the voice of Drake in the games, right? And I recognized that scene when I saw it. I was kind of like, I think I was the only one in the theater, because when I saw it, I was like, yeah, I saw it. I was like maybe the only one that saw that connection, but whatever. When I saw him, it was perfect, he says. Well, of course he's got to say that. Of course he's got to say that. And looks like we're just rounding out the box office, so yeah, I think that rounds out the stories for today, guys. I Care a Lot, starring Rosamund Pike, Isaac Gonzalez, Peter Dinklage, and Diane Wiest, is Netflix coming out later this year. Isaac Gonzalez. Whew. Okay, guys, so that's it. That's the way that it's been for today in the realm of movie and entertainment news. What do you think about some of these stories? Let me know in the comments below. If you are watching this later on, guys, after it gets posted, remember, it's a daily live show, and I do talk to people that do participate in the live chat. Maybe it doesn't fit your schedule, and if it does, eventually I'll shift the show around if it's not fitting people's schedule, because I do want to have that interaction where we talk about it with you guys, and eventually you guys will be the main drive of the show. I'm doing all the heavy lifting right now, which I don't mind doing, but eventually I want it to be your guys' ball, and we'll talk about the things, the movie headlines and stuff that you want to talk about here on Mirror Domains Movie News. Catch you tomorrow, guys.